Hey, Arman here, and in this video we're going to talk about understanding fasting and the benefits. Now, fasting's been around since the beginning of time for man. I mean, it's happened because you go through periods where you're not able to eat food, but the body has built-in systems to handle that stress and actually perk you up so that you're always going to be alert. So when you have an opportunity to get food, you're going to be ready to do it. So fasting, the body knows how to use it. So that's the good thing with it. And so one of the key things that I think is important for people to understand is when you do fasting, it helps you improve insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity is going to be real important for long term, because if you're eating so many carbohydrates all the time, your insulin's elevated all the time, that causes inflammation, and it's also, insulin is toxic to the system if you keep too much of it there, because then it'll cause the insulin resistance, which will lead to diabetes, which we don't want. So to manage insulin really easily is fasting can help with that. And then when you're getting the insulin down because of the fasting, next thing you're going to get, the side effect of that, is going to be fat loss. That's much better than weight loss. Fat loss, you're getting rid of body fat because insulin's out of the way. All we're burning now is actual body fat. We're letting those ketones flow out to the brain, which is good for the brain, get the body using that, and it's good for the muscle tissue. It helps to spare muscle. So there's a lot of benefits to that. So another side effect of that is it's going to reduce inflammation, and inflammation is basically swelling of the body. So you've had a lot of insulin floating around and too much food in your system and all this other stress that's not good internally. The body can't deal well with that. So when you fast, you help clear all that out because the body has to redo what it's doing. It has to heighten its levels up. So it's going to help with reducing inflammation. It's going to help with your heart health. It helps with blood pressure. A lot of people that I've worked with, they've been really surprised how their blood pressure has improved by getting rid of the body fat and then getting more efficient because you get rid of inflammation, which affects the heart. So it's really positive for heart health. Enhanced brain function. Again, you're using ketones, which are good for the brain. And they say glucose is the preferred. Well, it can be. I mean, you have two energy systems. You got the quick energy of sugars and carbs, and then you got the longer sustained energy of fats, which is ketones. So at the end of the day, it's still good for it's really good for the brain, much more so than the way they feel glucose is. So it's going to help with brain function. And then other bodily benefits is going to basically be if you do an extended fast, so like a fast from 1 to 7 days. So what are the bodily benefits of that? So when you do an extended fast, typically 24 hours or longer, which we're going to talk about that too, is your body has to cannibalize old senescent cells. It uses up the things that are in reserve. So it's going to be burning fat, insulin's out of the way. It's going to eat up undigested proteins. It's going to clear those out. And then you're going to take the senescent cells and use those. They're going to break down these cells that aren't functioning well and use that as part of energy. And then the other beauty of it all is it's going to help generate stem cells from the bone marrow. So that's the other thing it helps to do. So doing extended fast has a lot of benefits, and then there are some case studies that basically say that if you fast 3 days, you can actually reset your metabolism because the body's readjusting everything and how it burns energy. So that's another key thing to kind of keep in mind. I've never done a 3-day fast. I typically just do a 24-hour fast, and I'll kind of explain why. But the most common fasting periods that you're going to be familiar with, that you're going to see, is a 12-12, so 12 hours of no food, and then 12-hour eating window. And then a 16-8, so 16 hours of no food, and you eat all your food within an 8-hour window. And those are the most common. They're very effective. And again, we're keeping insulin down, keeping it under control. So now we're burning fat a lot more often than anything else and keeping the insulin under control. So there's an example of how to do a 24-hour fast or longer. One of the first things you want to do if you're going to do a 24-hour fast is, again, start doing a 16-8 or start reducing your carbohydrate intake to make this an easy transition. And if you're on a 24-hour fast, you don't want to do it on a high-stress day. You don't want to do weight training on a 24-hour fast. That's not productive because you're breaking down muscle and you're not going to have protein synthesis, so you're going to end up losing muscle if you do a 24-hour fast and you weight train. I don't recommend that. There's different arguments about that. I don't recommend it. So make it a low-stress day. Make it a high productive day, which I found very productive because you don't have any distractions. You don't worry about food. All you do is you're drinking fluids, water or tea or coffee, keep you going, and you get a lot done. So there's a lot of beauty to it. And again, you're clearing out these undigested proteins, the old senescent cells, you're breaking those out and generating some stem cells, which is great. So that's one of the things that I like to do is a 24-hour fast. I typically do 1 day a week is what I target. And I don't feel like I've got any muscle loss, because once you do the 24-hour fast, you're going to have a meal at the end of that period, and then you're going to have what you want to have, basically some protein, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, some proponents say, well, you're going to eat more food than you need. Well, okay, that could happen, but you just got to manage that the right way. So when you're doing the 24-hour fast, kind of keep that in mind. So an example of doing a 24-hour fast for me that I feel works the best is I'll have my last meal is like 5 or 6, okay, whatever that's going to be. And so then I don't have any more food. So then the next day, 6 p.m. the next day, then I'm going to have a meal. If it was 6 p.m. that I started, that's pretty easy to do, because you're getting all the fasting done during the night, and then you get all this work done during the day, and then you finish up with a quality meal, and you feel great. So, and you also get a good night's sleep from it, because the body's absorbing all the nutrients really rapidly, and you're back to square one. So again, this is different strategies to understanding fasting and the benefits. Of course, if you have questions on this, you'll pop those into the WhatsApp group, and we can talk about it. But I hope you found this was helpful and gives you some good ideas on other ways to maintain body fat and keep your energy levels up. Talk to you soon.